Thank you, Steve, and thank you to Provident Bank. You know, everyone in this room understands the sacrifices required of business during these challenging economic times. There is no one in this room that has been exempt from feeling the impact of the economic downturn. No one, it seems, except our New York State government. Do you know the proposed 2010-11 executive state budget contains $1 billion in new taxes and fees? Now that makes me angry. How about you? And you know, while businesses everywhere have eliminated pensions, New York State public sector pensions are projected to triple over the next 6 years. While everyone here in Westchester has been impacted, and here to share some personal stories of how their businesses have been impacted by what's happening in Albany, we're very lucky to have 3 representatives from our business community, each one with a different story but the same theme, something you all can relate to. First, representing the medical community, the past president of the Westchester County Medical Society, please welcome Dr. Andy Kleinman.
Thank you. You might ask, what are physicians doing here? Our first contact with the Westchester County Association was through the Blue Ribbon Task Force, where under the leadership of Bill Mooney and Al Del Bello, the Westchester County Association helped us pass laws contributing to the welfare of patients in New York, and I really want to thank them for that. I also want to thank them for sponsoring this. So why are we here as business people? Well, we also are business people. And one thing that the Blue Ribbon Task Force showed is that we're an important part of the infrastructure of Westchester County. We also have commissioned our own economic impact study, which has shown that private practice physicians in Westchester are responsible for 21,000 jobs in the state of New York. This is just the Westchester County physicians. And we are also responsible for $700 million in taxes. And every time one private practice physician leaves, it costs the economy of Westchester County close to $1 million. So in addition to our being providers, we also are part of the business community. Unfortunately, we have physicians who are leaving the state who've been here for many years. I personally know a physician who's been here for 24 years in private practice who recently left to practice in another state. The Center for Health Workforce Studies in Albany has predicted that in the Hudson Valley alone, there's going to be a shortage of over 1,700 physicians. That's not in the western part of New York, that's here in the Hudson Valley. So something has to change. Why are physicians leaving? Well, there are several factors. One, reimbursement is very low in New York. In fact, it's lower than the surrounding states. In addition, we have no tort reform. The malpractice rates around here are astronomical. A neurosurgeon who has never had a malpractice suit pays $236,000 to just open an office in Westchester. That's without any malpractice suits whatsoever. Right now, Medicare pays $2,000 to $3,000 per case in many neurosurgical procedures. So that means that's 100 cases before he's even paid his malpractice insurance. It's virtually impossible to open a practice now. Also, the taxes are so high, it's very hard to attract young physicians because they're never going to be able to buy a house here. Things really have to change. Where are people going to? Well, there was an article in the New York Times a while back showing that Texas has a 6-month backlog of applications. Why? They have no state income tax. Also, they have tort reform. So malpractice rates are a quarter what they are here. And where do they have people applying from? Well, the #1 state that they have applications from is New York. We really have to do something, and we're very happy to work with the Westchester County Association on this effort. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kleinman. Very shocking, very sad statistics indeed. As we all know, small business is the engine that drives our economy, and there's no better spokesperson than the co-owner of the Maid Brigade. Please help me welcome Robin Murphy.
Hi there. My name is Robin Murphy, and my husband and I are small business owners. But that's not why I'm here today. I'm here because I'm fed up. I'm fed up being forced, thank you. I'm fed up being forced to accept financial decisions from the folks up in Albany that can't balance their own checkbook. I'm fed up with the tax money going to stimulate union-run, mismanaged, quasi-government entities like the MTA that are supposedly too big to fail, while my business is treated as too small to save. I'm fed up with the disparity of private and public sector jobs. While my employees and I are no longer able to afford 401k contributions, the public employees are getting automatic and substantial increases with our money. I'm fed up with competing with the underground economy while the government looks the other way. I'm fed up with our national leaders disparaging the private business community and using capitalism as their whipping boy. Should I go on? Well, I'm fed up with hearing people whine, and I'm fed up hearing myself whine, and I'm also fed up with being fed up. So what do? Shouting at the TV set doesn't work, complaining to friends and family doesn't work, and trusting that the problems are going to fix themselves certainly doesn't work. Well, they say that if you're not part of the solution, then you're part of the problem. The WCA is part of the solution, and we each need to be part of the solution too. The call to action is a battle cry. We got to roll up our sleeves. We got to take matters into our own hands. We got to be committed to making a difference, to make real change happen. Did anybody mention that there's an election coming up in November? Well, November is go time, but it's time to start getting ready now. We need to find the right candidates to support, candidates that share our core values, candidates that understand the vital role business plays in our community, candidates that understand they are there to serve their constituents and not the special interests that make their office a lifetime appointment. Don't pay mind to their party affiliation. Pay attention to what they stand for. If we can't find them, we need to recruit them or consider running yourself. Once we find the right candidates, it's our objective to get them elected. We're talking active duty now. Write checks to candidates, write letters to the newspapers, attend fundraisers and debates, host a coffee at your home or a meet and greet in your town, make calls at phone banks, reach out to your friends, neighbors, colleagues, encourage them to get involved too. Go door to door, hand out leaflets at the train station and supermarkets. This may not be something you've ever done. This may not be something you've ever considered doing before. But you can do it. We can do it. We have to do it. We have a call to action, and sitting this one out is just not an option.
Great job, Robin. Thank you for those inspiring words. I think she'd be a good candidate for office, don't you? And finally, I'd like to ask